For the past 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, Nigeria has been having challenges that are beckoning and waiting for answers and solutions. That is why we are bringing to you our program, State of the Nation. And this is going to come up on our flagship program this morning on ITV. I am hereby inviting you to join me, Bola Bakare, your host, on State of the Nation, so that we can hasten the motions that brings national development. It's going to be a regular basis on Tuesdays. Make it a date with me. I'll be there waiting for you, and then we shall discuss Nigeria on an holistic level.
Welcome to your lofty program, State of the Nation, where we hasten the motions for national development. And when it comes to national development, you're part of it. This morning we shall be talking safety. And when I say safety, it is a factor that concerns you and I. And then it shall be we shall dwell on that factor of the quest for a safer transportation system. Let me give you a brief idea about what transportation means. Transportation system means travel by air, which most of us do, travel by road, which most of us do, and then travel by waterways, inland waterways. And what are we doing here? How far is the safety on all these three parameters? Air, road, and sea. They call it air, land, and sea. How safe are they? To start with, let me give you a brief. It might sound a little bit gloomy. Honestly, it is. In terms of what happens to us when a good transportation system is not being maintained. I would like to run a comparative analysis here. Let me start with the road system. There is something that the FRSC calls road traffic crashes, which we, the lay people, will call accidents. When these occur, there are instances of deaths and there are instances of injuries. Within the past 6 months, we have had close on 6,000 RTCs, road traffic crashes, of which close on 3,000 people died. I'm giving you the basis for the past 6 months. Do you know what? This translates into 15 people per day in the past 6 months were dying from road accidents. I will move ahead from there and run another comparative analysis for you. I will use COVID. COVID is a global pandemic. We call it COVID-19. Between 2019 and now, in Nigeria, we've had maybe in 2 years, we've had less than, let's say, 5,000 people died from COVID. If I run a comparative analysis between that and road accidents, it is 5 people per day died from COVID, compared to 15 people per day in the past 6 months from road accidents. And the mother of them all is our insecurity, which has a very high number. From when it started till now, and we're still praying that with God on our side, with our security apparatus doing the right thing and getting all the help they can from the populace and the communities, we'll be able to reduce the numbers. Insecurity is doing 24 per day in 2021. But this morning we're talking about transportation system, the safety of transportation system. And what I'm trying to tell you is, we lose more people on the road than to COVID, which is a global pandemic. And what are we doing about that? It's high time we think about ourselves. When it comes to transportation system, it is you. With the exception of the airplane that is being flown by a pilot, or you're going by rail that has another pilot in it, or going by waterways, inland waterways that has a pilot in it, the rest of it which is the road networks, is left to you and I that are the drivers. And you know what happened therein? Like I said earlier, 15 people per day die from RTC's road traffic crashes, which we call accidents. Because we are not careful enough when it comes to the way we drive. For God's sake, we should pay more attention to the way we drive. Some people are not good enough to drive. They are on the road driving. Some people are not certified to drive. They are on the road driving. Some people, under the influence of alcohol, they are on the road driving. And what are we doing to see that we have a safer transportation in place? We need it. It should be there. That is why we are thinking in terms of a system where our transportation safety becomes a matter for a government institution. Our government has a lot of institutions that are taking care of all our transportation maladies. With the aircrafts, with the airlines, they have NCAA, they have FAA, on the road, we have FRSC, we have VIOs, and the rest of them, and the police too are doing their own bit. On the waterways, we have marine police. But the thing is, safer transportation has to do with our government first and foremost, and we as the people that ply the transportation system or drive the transportation system. I would like to say one thing about maybe one or two departments of government that are in charge of this. Because at times when they try to carry out their mandates, we, the people, do not give them the chance to do it appropriately. Let's talk about the FRSC Road Safety Corps. Their mandate is to make sure that you are safe on the road. And the funny thing is, we don't even have that much of good roads. Everybody complains that you can't take a full stretch without seeing bad roads. My question is, how come when we have good roads, a little of good roads and a little of bad roads, how come we are overspeeding? In most cases, most of these RTCs accidents occur due to overspeeding. So where is that level of you being a professional driver, having the decorum to drive according to the dictates of the road you're applying? You will see people, the basic rule of driving says at corners you don't overtake. If you see unbroken lines, you don't overtake. It's only when you have broken lines that you can overtake. You will see drivers, they will overtake while they are ascending the hill and you can't see the other side. You will see drivers overtaking at a corner where you can't see the oncoming vehicle. And at the same time, we keep having crashes. And typical Nigerians, what we do to ourselves is we say, oh, it is God. For God's sake, we insult God in most cases. God gave us the brains to use, and when we don't use the brains and accidents happen, we blame God. It's high time we blame ourselves. It's high time we listen more to these institutions of government, these agencies of government that are churning out rules for us to run by. Like I was saying in the case of road safety, for everything that works in life, there is that element of enforcement. Like most of us that were brought up as good kids in the family, I am sure we took a lot of corporal punishment from our parents. At times we go wrong, they say it verbally. At times we go wrong, we get spanked. I want to reverse this to the case of an institution of government that is supposed to take care of us on the roads. And one thing we did to them, we never gave them the parameters to be able to enforce their mandate. The Road Safety Corps is there on the road unarmed. People stop for them at their own whim. If you don't feel like it, you drive past them because there is nothing they can do. And these are the people we put there to maintain decorum on the highways. If they had been armed, things would have been better for us. Because not only will they check the vehicles that they are good, not only will they check the speed of the drivers, they will be able to check the excesses in insecurity. I'll tell you this for free. there is no insecurity that does not have mobility. It's either they move to where they go to perpetrate the bad act, may God forgive them, or they're going to move where they are coming from, where they have perpetrated the bad act. And when you have people like the road safety on the roads to stop them, where due and as appropriate, there are instances they will be able to curtail some of these roads being used as avenues of insecurity. But what we've done to them is simple. We've made them toothless bulldogs. Let me ask you one straight-laced question. Most of us have done it before. How many times have the road safety waved you down and you just drive past? Virtually everybody has done it. We drive past them because they have no tool of enforcement. No tool of enforcement. And I am throwing it at the powers that be. Please, these people, honestly, I'm not holding brief for them. They have that element of decorum. When they stop you, they say the right words. Excuse me, sir, can I see your papers? For God's sake, if we arm them, they will be able to do a better job, and they will be able to stop most people from doing bad acts on our highways. Like the topic for this morning goes, we are talking about safer transportation system. I am happy on the road network because most of us use the road. But also, there is need for us to look at the element of our waterways. These days, most people are traveling by waterways. Lately, in Kano State, we heard about a death of about 27 people, most of them children, who were coming from a wedding and then probably going home on a short span of stream. And they died. They died because there was no institution of government to run checks and balances on either the canoes or the boats that was ferrying them across. Maybe the canoe or boat was just good enough for 10 people, and then it's been overloaded with 27, which was an accident waiting to happen. A lot too has happened in my state, Lagos State, where Inland Waterways is now doing a good job in transportation system. There have been loads and loads of accidents. Loads and loads of accidents. I am beginning to look at the situation that if the road safety stops you, one of the first things they will ask you for is the use of your seatbelt. I am wondering too, why can't we translate this to inland waterways, where the element of a vest should be compulsory before you board the boat. The vest is not yours. You wear the vest when you're boarding, and when you're alighting, you give the vest back to the authorities that own the boat. We're praying that we're moving forward. We're projecting that we are going to make use of all facets of transportation, for which inland waterways is second, next to road networks. It's high time we do something in that wise. It is the duty of the government of the day to take care of us. And it is our own duty too to take care of ourselves before we start having problems on our hands. I would like to cite you another instance of what happens when we don't maintain a good transportation system and when the safety becomes the safety that borders on insecurity. I did a survey with my people, and we found out that the insecurity we're talking about is being perpetrated mainly by the use of motorbikes. Did you hear me? By the use of motorbikes. Those bikes are so fast that before you know what's happening, they will have gotten onto the village, they will have gotten to the places they want to perpetrate all these heinous acts. But what bothers me is our security architecture vis-a-vis the agency of government that takes care of all registrations of anything that moves, from your motorbike to your cars to your articulate trucks to your buses and what have you. They shied away from this. We have been saying this for years. How on earth, if you're going out, just check those motorbikes. They are not registered. Most of them are not registered. Little wonder, maybe the man that carries you in the afternoon, as a commercial driver, is the one that is going to carry a perpetrator to go and kidnap somebody in a village. It's high time And I repeat, it's high time the powers that be, the authorities, take care of this. Let these people be registered. If they are registered, better things will happen to us. They will not become faces and persons unknown. This is a good food for thought. If you're there driving today, just look around. You'll see that most of the motorbikes that pass you by are not registered. In other words, they belong to nobody, and then nobody is going to be held accountable if anything happens. It's high time we look at this closely from the powers that be. It's high time the agencies of government have a better job to do and then be able to advise the powers that be. These are the things we need to get a better job done. On this note, I would like to say, let us listen and listen well when instructions are given to us. Mostly on our highways, let us learn not to overspeed. Let us learn how to drive better. Let us learn how to listen to rules and regulations of driving. And then our highways will become a safer place for us all. It is not a matter for one person. I would like to revert you to what I said earlier. When I was running you, I call it, it's a gloomy analysis. That on the average, in the past 6 months, 15 people were dying per day on road accidents. Compared to 5 people per day for COVID. So what we've done to ourselves is more on the highways than even that global pandemic.